Muy buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a este conversatorio realizado en el marco de las Jornadas Universitarias de nuestra querida Alma Máter. La Escuela de Idiomas también se suma a esta celebración. Este año nuestra universidad cumple 218 años de existencia. Yo soy Doris Colorado, profesora de la Escuela de Idiomas y coordinadora de otras lenguas y del fomento del plurilingüismo desde la Escuela de Idiomas para la universidad y el mundo. Este conversatorio hace parte de las actividades que permanentemente preparamos para vivir las lenguas y las culturas. Los invito a participar en los otros eventos que tenemos. Si ya se han registrado, recibirán la programación mensual por correo. Primero que todo, quiero agradecerles su presencia en esta sala de Zoom y saludar también a quienes nos están viendo en la retransmisión en directo por la página de Facebook de la Escuela de Idiomas. Hoy nos acompaña el profesor Alexander Cardozo, quien enseña en el programa institucional de inglés de la escuela desde hace un año más o menos y desarrolla un trabajo conjunto con la Dirección de Relaciones Internacionales. El profesor es traductor, egresado de la Escuela de Idiomas, además de la enseñanza ha realizado diversos trabajos como intérprete y actividades de voluntariado. El profesor nos ha preparado un conversatorio titulado Appreciating Diversity, Living in a Multicultural World. El profesor, bueno, no, ya les dije esto. Hoy entonces tendremos los micrófonos desactivados, las cámaras creo que también. Para ustedes participar solo basta con levantar la mano, nosotros lo activaremos para que puedan intervenir. Sin más preámbulo, let's give the floor to Professor Cardozo. Thanks for being here with us.
Okay, thank you very much, Teacher Doris. So we're going to start. I'm going to share my screen right now so you can see what I have here. And again, thank you very much for being here in this space. I hope it's going to be a space where we all are going to share our insights about the topic. It will be amazing to listen to you constantly. So this is the topic, appreciating diversity, living in a multicultural world. And I'm going to, just want to make sure, are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is it good?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see the screen, right? You see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to start with this, getting to know you, to know who are you, what do you do, to know the diversity we have in this room. And I would like to know at least 3 or 4 people who would like to start by introducing themselves. It will be nice. And I'm going to start just to give the example. In my case, as our teacher said, I'm from Caucasia. I'm Alexander Cardozo. I'm a teacher of languages. I live actually 1 block away from Universidad de Antioquia right now. And I'm 29 years old. And what I do in my free time is mainly playing chess and going out with friends and biking and similar things, you know? So I would like to hear this from you, like to know who are with us today here and just to get to know you. And I will guess, remember that if you want to participate, you just have to raise your hand and then you're going to be given your mic is going to be turned on. So who would like to introduce? I would like to know these questions we have here.
Okay, nicely.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Naisle Chahin. I'm really well today. I live in Medellin, in Belén, Loma de los Bernal. I'm from Colombia. I'm 51 years old. I work as an English teacher at the university too. And in my free time, I enjoy going out with my son. Yes, eating out too in some restaurants, meeting new people. And that's all. Thank you so much.
That's very nice. Thank you, teacher. Indeed, we have already met in other spaces. That's nice to see you here. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute. Sorry, Jose David Torres. Oh no, sorry, I did it with.
Yes, hello.
Hello there,
Okay,
Jose.
yes.
Do you hear me right? Okay.
Yes, yes, perfect.
I'm fine. My name is Jose Victor Yepes. I live here in Medellin in Laureles. I'm from here too. I'm 20 years old. For living, I study and I work with a cousin who's a lawyer. And in my free time, I like to play soccer, watch movies, practice English or other languages. And yes, that's all.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Okay, Brian. Yeah.
Hello. So my name is Brian. I'm 19 years old. I live in El Santuario, Antioquia. I just finished fourth semester in translation, and I think I know Alexander from another English.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm,
and
actually,
yeah, we were in a lot of sessions, and yeah, right now I'm doing theater and writing things. So that's what I'm doing right now because I'm on vacations. But yeah, usually I just study and I work on weekends.
cool to know about you, Brian.
Hudao. I don't know if it is a name or a nickname.
It's a nickname, yeah. Hi there, I am Juan David Monsalve Roldán. I'm fine today. I live in Copacabana, but I am from Santa Rosa de Osos. I am 32 years old. For living, I work as a teacher, as an art teacher at a public high school. I do love art, definitely. And so what I enjoy to do in my free time is writing, watching movies, maybe drawing sometimes, stuff like that.
Very nice. And I think we go last with Luz Marina, right?
Can you listen to me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm Luz Marina Huiza Diaz. I'm from Barranca Bermeja, Santander. I live in Envigado with my husband. I am an English teacher at the University of Antioquia. And in my free time, I like to spend time with my family and my 2 cats. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you very much for those introductions. Then we're going to go ahead with this. What are we going to do today? We're going to talk about what's diversity. Why is diversity important? What are some of the stereotypes and prejudice we should take care when we have in our minds? Also, we're going to appreciate diversity itself, and we're going to practice our reading, speaking, writing, and listening skills as well. We're going to analyze some videos, reflect on images, share points of views, do interesting activities, and perhaps, if we have time, we're going to play a game at the end. It's going to be really brief. Okay, so why did I choose this topic? When I was thinking about this topic, I thought, I'm from Caucasia, Antioquia. So in 2008, I lived in this small neighborhood called Pueblo Nuevo. So I went to Medellin to study in 2008. And I remember that the first thing I noticed at our university was exactly the diversity. You know, I saw people with different styles in their hairs, with different clothes, like really nice personalities, appealing personalities, people who knew a lot about different topics. So it was like a really new world for me. And from there, I started saying, this is a really amazing moment of my life to learn about other cultures, about other people, personalities, and so on. So that's why I thought this was a nice topic for today, diversity, because the same as at the university, you can find diversity everywhere, in neighborhoods, cities, countries, and etc. Right? So it's a really interesting topic for today, especially taking into account that we are in the celebration because of the years of the university, 218. So to begin, I wanted to start with this video, and I'm going to share it. I hope it's going to be, you're going to be able to listen to it. Just give me a second. I want to start with this video. But before starting with this video, I would like you to write down or type on the chat, what does diversity mean to you in just one word? Can you please just type one word in the chat saying, what does diversity mean to you according to your own experience in your life? Would be nice to see. We have difference, open-minded, pluralism, very good. Adaptation. What else would come to your mind? What else would you think about? People who think in a different way, respect cultures, very nice, very good. Movement, good. And as you are typing there, I'm going to share the video that I want to show you also. Just give me a second. So let me see. We also have different points of view. Very nice. Now I'm going to start playing the video, and I would like you to pay attention to the video, and you're going to see if what you listen, if what you see on the video has to do with what you just wrote on the chat. And after we watch the video, I would like you to tell me if you will find any a relationship with what you just wrote down and this video I'm going to play, okay? So I'm just going to start.
To me, diversity is almost the first. To me, diversity is almost the.
How does it sound?
We're not watching the video.
Okay, I'm going to start sharing again. This time I'm
Yes.
going to share audio. Yes, share sound. Let me see. What about there?
First step, if you will,
Yes.
towards a more.
Very good.
To me, diversity is almost the first step, if you will, towards a more just and equal world. I mean, diversity should ideally lead to inclusion, and then equity, and then through all of that, social justice.
I think it's the physical differences, so like race, gender, sexuality, age, but also like the different experiences people bring, the ideas that people have and like their backgrounds.
To me, diversity is acknowledging and highlighting everyone's values, no matter what that they bring to the table, whatever type of ability that they have.
Diversity is important, whether that be we're talking like ideology, like a difference of ideas and perspectives, whether it be ethnic backgrounds, different perspectives of cultural communities, religious backgrounds. I think diversity is important to, informing like the whole person, like we say here, and things like that. Because if you just stick to one perspective and aren't aware of any others, how much are you really growing? How much are you really developing as a person?
Diversity is difference. And the way that I really see diversity is that there are those socio-cultural differences like race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, religious preference, and religious traditions. But there's also difference in thoughts. And I think college is that time where students are getting the opportunity to really question what that difference is.
I feel like a lot of people, when thinking about diversity, means like ethnicity, but to me, because like I don't really know what I am besides Black, African American, I kind of relate that to like my interests or school, my family, just anything like that.
Diversity, I see it as just a mix of backgrounds and different experiences coming together. On campus we see it in terms of ethnicity and different like family lives, just people coming from different places and sharing their culture with each other.
a lot of people kind of interpret it as you have to be a person of color to be considered diverse, and I think that's problematic. Obviously, like race and ethnicity matter, and those are totally parts of your identity, but I think, you know, religion and politics and sexual identity and income and all of those things, I think they all really kind of contribute to who we are and what we contribute to, you know, campus and our community.
Diversity is, I think, celebrating the differences between you and other people, but using those differences to really celebrate the similarities between you and someone else.
To me, maybe diversity is just more like experiencing different backgrounds that you're not really familiar with and learning, and maybe even like taking some of that and like making it your own unique diverse background.
From a teacher's perspective, a diversity of voices, viewpoints, perspectives on a particular subject area is critical. Without it, I don't think you can actually have a teaching and learning environment.
Diversity is recognizing, appreciating, and learning from every person's individual difference that they bring to wherever they are. Just acknowledging that everyone brings something different to the table and really engaging with and learning from those differences and appreciating what our community can gain from those differences, and that those differences don't all fit in the same box.
So please join the conversation. And if that means, if you joining the conversation means that you have to be quiet, that's still participating. But yeah, please feel welcome.
Very good. So I would like to, I saw some comments here that are related to the video. I would like to see if any of you guys, at least 2 or 3 people who wrote down the terms, would like to tell us if you find a relation. Yes, you can activate your cameras. Okay. So if you can find a relation between what you wrote down and also what you just heard in this video. Remember, you should just raise your hand to comment. Let me see.
Nobody's raising.
Okay, or if you want, we can just do it like a conversatory. I can just ask the ones I see here on the chat. It's no problem. So what about, let me see. Yeah, Juan, you said movement. Hello. Okay, we have some hands already.
We have Luz Marina and Eliana. I'm going to unmute Luz Marina and then Eliana.
Okay. Well, I think that diversity is everywhere, is everything. It's not a color, it's not a person, it's not a sex, it's everything. It's to be open to accept yourself and to accept the others.
Very nice. And yes, what was your word? Sorry. Okay, Eliana.
Good afternoon for everyone.
Hello there.
My word was adaptation. They didn't say that in the video, but I think that that's part of the diversity. So I think that the most important for me in all the list in the video was respect and tolerance.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Eliana, and nice to see you here again. Okay. Juan, hello.
Yeah, hello. Yes, my word was movement. Yes, of course, it has to do with the content of the video. I think that everything changes all the time. That's why I use this word, and all of the speech of the people in the video has to do with that, with seeing different things. And at the same time you see those things are different, they change from that look, right, to another one, and then to other. And that's, I think that's what is interesting of diversity. Everything changes all the time, and you can explore too many things in terms of personality and how this personality shows up through wearing, speaking, eating, all of our human habits.
Definitely, that's one of the best things about diversity. The constant movement. You know, it's not static. Very nice. Jose.
Hello.
Hello there.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I was thinking about the black girl, yeah, the Afro girl, because she said she is black. She said the word black, and I think diversity is a set of other people, yeah. Is me with them, know about independent of your color, you can open your mind, yeah. You can start with a conversation and try to understand how the other person can think.
Okay, thank you, Jose. Indeed, yes, there are some people that when they think about diversity, they focus on ethnicity and race specifically, sometimes even in gender. But as you already said before, and we are going to see from now on, diversity is so wide that I mean, it's impossible to focus just in 3 or 4 things. I'm going to share again so you can see what I have here on the, yeah. Thank you for your comments. Just 1 second here. So I brought this definition because I thought it was, I was reading some definitions there, and I think this was really nice. And I would like, I don't know, maybe it would be nice, Brian, would you like to read this definition? It would be nice.
Okay, what is diversity? The concept of diversity encompasses acceptance and respect. It means understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing our individual differences. This can be along the dimensions of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, physical abilities, religious beliefs, political beliefs, or other ideologies. It is the exploration of this difference in a safe, positive, and nurturing environment. It is about understanding each other and moving beyond simple tolerance to embracing and celebrating the rich dimensions of diversity contained with each individual.
Just as you were saying, some of the comments you just posted on the chat are related to this. You know, it's not just about 1, 2, or 3 things. It's about a lot of things. They give some examples here in this definition, but they say it's not just that. It can be even more things. So I hope you're going to, I don't know, if you would like to comment anything on this definition, would you add something, or would you say it's a definition you will agree with? Let me see. Nicely.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
for me, diversity consists not only in physical differences, but also in behavior. Finally, although we are diverse, we are a single human species.
Yes, so it is. Agree, says Jose also. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide, which is this one. Why is diversity important? And I'm just going to read this so we can have like, what's the importance of this topic, like diversity itself. Cultural diversity is a driving force of development for economic growth, as well as for leading a more fulfilling intellectual, emotional, moral, and spiritual life. It creates a strong motivation and momentum for a strong satisfaction. Learning about other cultures helps us understand different perspectives within the world in which we live. They help us recognize and respect ways of being that are not necessarily our own. And I just put there, etc., because if you just Google it, you're going to find a lot of benefits for not just for like a personal growing, but also for our jobs, for our world itself, the impact we're going to create in the world. Appreciating diversity just help in all the aspects. So that's what I wanted to highlight, these benefits, in case you wanted to take them into account. And also I wanted to talk about this topic. I think I see some comments, complete definition. Okay, thank you. Also, I wanted to talk about this, guys. We have, this is the learning zone model, was originally developed by the psychologist Levi Vygotsky. And this model has been applied to different fields regarding to knowledge. In this case, I wanted to talk about this when it comes to getting to know, getting to know a different person, a different personality, different culture. And I would say that sometimes, and I wanted to take into account this because later I would like to listen to your experiences of life. And in this case, I would say that we have these three zones. We have the panic zone, the learning zone, and the comfort zone. Normally, when we are used to a state of things, you always do the same things, you are in the comfort zone. You know, they say that it's really complicated when you are in the comfort zone to learn new things, because there is no risk, there is no way to go beyond what you normally know, right? So according to this, when we talk about getting to know a different culture, if we are in the comfort zone, we are just staying with the same things we know, same people. We already know the results we're going to get with our actions. We know what to expect from the people we have around. It's always the same. So when we want to go beyond that, we get in the learning zone, where we are going to actually get new experiences and enrich our lives. But there is something that happens sometimes when we are going to get to know another culture. We can get into the panic zone sometimes. And what happened there? I'm going to give you an example. And I was these days in a lecture, and there was a girl who was saying, once she was in an academic exchange in another place, and she went to a house. This family were hosting her, and she felt really afraid because this family had different objects in the house that were kind of strange, and she thought they were like in a really strange religion, and the culture wasn't like that nice. So she was so afraid that she almost left the place to come back to her town. Why did she do that? Because she wasn't used to something different. She was used to the comfort zone. And when she entered this place, she had like this cultural shock, and this panic then came on her. So what I'm going to ask you is this: have you ever, guys, been in a panic zone? Have you ever experienced something that you would interpret as a cultural shock? I would like to listen to some of your experiences. It would be nice. And I'm not referring just to going to another country. I refer also in our own country, in our own cities. We have so much diversity that it will be easy for you to find examples of what I'm saying. So who would like to tell us about an experience you may have had that has to do with a cultural shock? Maybe a situation where you didn't feel like that comfortable with the situation because it was a different culture. Yes, Ellie?
I was thinking first about saying I went to another country to live, and it was such a shock. I was 18, so it was completely different. I was born in Venezuela, and I was living both sides of the countries all the time, but I was very young, so I don't remember. But when I went to Spain, I was 18, and that was shocking because I didn't know they speak different languages. So when I arrived to the place and they began speaking to me in another language, it was like, wow, I was about to be in my same language country. But it was more shocking when I came back to Colombia and I began studying in the University of Antioquia. And I began listening to the explosions of the Papas Bomba. And I was so shocked that I was like in panic, and everyone was like normal inside the classroom. And I was saying like, I heard some explosions, and they said, don't worry, if it's not like 6 or 7 continuously, you don't have to be worried about. And the teacher was giving the class normally. And that was pretty shock for me. And I even went to the director of my faculty, and she said, don't worry, you're just going to be in this kind of situations all your degree. So you just have to relax and don't look at the encapuchados. I don't know how to say that. You don't look at them directly. And that was pretty shock for me, because I was from here, but I didn't realize that situation so face to face. So I think that was my panic zone. And then I become naturalizing. I don't know if it's, it was very strange for me because I didn't want to do it. But at the end, I was doing the same. I was listening to the explosions and not doing everything at all. But it was pretty shocking at the beginning.
Thank you. I understand by that after that you get to the learning zone, because you got to learn how were things, and then you just calm yourself. Indeed, that's what they say, that we need to be like in a balance in this learning zone, not necessarily in the panic one. Or they don't say that the comfort zone is a bad thing. It's good indeed also, but it would be better if sometimes we can take some risks to learn something new, okay? So I don't know if anybody else would like to share any different experience. Thank you, Eliana. Have you ever guys have this? Okay, Brian.
I think that the university is a very big cultural shock for a lot of people. And for example, I'm from a small town, very small town, El Santuario. So going to the university the first days, it was really shocking seeing all those different people, different ways to express themselves. And I don't know, for example, there was this day where there was like an exchange. There were some Korean people in the university, and I just helped them to communicate because they didn't speak Spanish. They spoke English, and it was pretty shocking that they did a choreography, like a K-pop choreography, and then they did a Catholic like a theater play. It was really weird, and I don't know, I didn't expect to see that, like, never, but yeah.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, indeed. Even when you expect some cultures to be completely different to yours, you can get shocked also because they are not that different sometimes in certain aspects. So thank you for sharing that. Now I'm going to go to the next slide. If there is nobody else, I don't think so. Yeah, going to the next slide. So, before that, I wanted to ask a question, which is the one we have here on the bottom of the screen, which is, why do you think some people get immediately in the panic zone when being in a new situation? Why do you think that happens? What comes to your mind when thinking about it? Why do people get in this panic zone? Who would like to say something for the respect before going to the next slide? Let me see. Yeah, we have a hand, right? Ellie?
I think that it's like 50-50%. You can go into the panic zone and you get shocked and paralyzed. But other hand, you can go in the panic zone and you find the strength inside yourself and move forward and do something and realize that you can do something else. So it can be like not only one way.
Okay, so but the question is, when people do get in the panic zone, why do you think that happens? Why can it be? Because they are afraid of the new things, because they don't understand them? Or, I don't know, I think also Juan wanted to say something. Juan. Maybe
Yes, I do want to say something. I think that it happens because I think we are not used to recognize and to feel movement as something natural in us. Then when you are in front of a situation that made us feel different and moved, if I can say, then we get nervous. But I think that everyone deals with this I don't know how to say nerviosismo. Can you help me, please?
Nervousness?
Yeah. So everyone deals with it in a different way. Some people get just like silent and so nervous, right? Some people deals with it with some kind of cool attitudes. Even in that kind of ways to deal with that, even in those ways, diversity is present, right? But I think that's my why to that situation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Juan. Also, we have a comment here. Luz Marina says, maybe because we need to learn living to get surprised by new situations and take new moves. Thank you for that. And also, Jose, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I have an idea about what is panic zone. For me, there are two panic zones. A kind of panic zone is when you are, for example, in risk. For example, you need to do something right now because it's very dangerous. Yeah. If you aren't prepared for that, you can take the wrong decision. Yeah. This kind of panic zone, I think is very complicated to handle because depend who are you, how is your life, yeah. And the other kind of panic zone for me is like when a situation has a background, yeah. And in this kind of situation, you can think and you can handle it. You can take a decision. You can break and take the decision, the right decision. Yeah, but this is more easy to do that this kind of panic zone. Yeah, avoid it.
Thank you, Jose. I like something you said, which is depending on the background of the person, we are obviously going to react different to a specific situation. I like also the fact that you said that we enter the panic zone when we don't feel prepared. And also, as one said, also when we are not used to the changes, right? When we are just always used to the same things always. And I was just asking that because of this. I would say also that sometimes, and I wanted to bring this topic of stereotypes and prejudice, because if we are talking about diversity, also we should talk a little bit about this. And I would say that sometimes, you know that if we want to move throughout the world, we need some stereotypes, right? Sometimes we have some stereotypes, some information, not necessarily has to do with our own experience. Can be that other person had an experience, this person tells me, and then I use this information to live and act in a specific context. In these cases, stereotypes can be good. And I'm just going to talk about one example. For instance, if I'm going to Mexico and somebody tells me, hey, if you go to Mexico and somebody sneezes, then just say, bless you. Because if you don't say that, that's going to be disrespectful. In this case, when somebody sneezes and I say, bless you, there's going to be a positive outcome, right? People are going to say, hey, you are polite, that's nice. And in this case, stereotypes can help us to move throughout the world. It's okay. But there are in some moments where we create some inflexible stereotypes, which they are not positive. They can be instead negative. Another example, I'm going to Germany, right? And I say, okay, a friend of mine, hey, I'm going to Germany. And then my friend says, oh, people in Germany, they are so distant, they are so bitter, and this person starts saying a lot of things that are not positive about German people. Then I'm going to go to Germany, entering this panic zone because I'm not going to be prepared for what's coming, right? So I wanted to talk about these stereotypes that can help us sometimes, but when they become negative, then it will be a prejudice. And that's what I wanted to talk about this and say, we have to avoid stereotypes in order to appreciate diversity. We have to have this suspension of value judgment. And also, we have to try to go from the panic zone to the learning one. And that doesn't mean that you're going to kind of accept everything that is in the other culture, but at least you're going to recognize that culture. You're going to respect it, and probably you're going to appreciate it, even if sometimes you don't agree with certain things. Okay. I would like you to type on the chat now. Okay, we have Brian wants to say something. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I don't know. I don't think that what you were saying refers necessarily to stereotypes. I think stereotypes are more referred to like a person or like the general behavior of people. And in that way, I think that it's always going to be bad because you don't necessarily you don't really know the people, and like every person is different and all that. And for example, what you said is more like getting to know the culture beforehand. So yeah.
So would you say what I was saying is more like I mean, if it's going to be a positive thing, would be a generalization, or what? How would you call it?
It is not a generalization. I would say that it's more so about like morals and good manners in different countries, because that is something that is not subjective. Like for example, you know that in Colombia, when you enter like an establishment, a store, you say buenas, for example. You know that's true, and that is not a stereotype. That is just the way it is. And if you don't do that, you are going to look mean or look like you're acting out, for example. So I think that is not stereotype, but
okay. Thank you, thank you, Brian, for that comment. Jose.
Well, I was thinking about this topic is related with the before topic, yeah, because depend of the person, yeah. Some persons can try to, for example, I am from Colombia, yeah, and I know, or I am from Medellin, yeah, and I know I have a friend, and he told me about Cartagena or the Caribbean zone, yeah, and I know the people of I don't know, Cartagena is, what do you say, perezosa?
Yeah, lazy.
It's lazy, yeah. But I never come there. I never don't know. I never don't know about that because I don't know. I don't know who is the person that lives there. Yeah. So you need to get out from the comfort zone and try to avoid this kind of stereotypes and get into the place, get into the behavior of the people. Yeah, you need to go more far, more less. I don't know. Sorry, more far. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jose. Yes, indeed, and that's why I was going to ask you all, if you could just type what kind of stereotypes have you heard throughout your lives, just to some examples that could come to your mind, and also after that, think how do you think these stereotypes can affect people? Okay, so I would like to just read on the chat what you have to say about it. Maybe. Yeah, just typing what kind of stereotypes do you think you have heard throughout your lives about other cultures, for instance? Let me see. Okay, so while you write down that, I'm going to go, okay, Colombian women are prostitutes. Says about being Colombian are so rough sometimes and so extreme. So this is one of the advices we always get before. I mean, we know that there are a lot of stereotypes and it's easy sometimes to get them. So before just using one of these stereotypes, try to think twice, try to be critical about what you're going to say to another person or what you're going to think about another person. This is the best way we can have to appreciate diversity. Jose says, for example, Netflix is a narco series, okay? And it happens that when we go to another country, that's one of the first things they are going to think about us, right? Yes. Thank you for those comments. So tips for appreciating and embracing diversity. I wanted to do the following activity, which is this one. We are going to read these statements we see on the screen, and then you are going to see if you agree with any of these statements. Once you decide that, you're going to tell us why do you think you agree with these statements you see on the screen. If you agree with any of those, you can just pick one and tell us why do you agree with them. And I'm going to write them down on the chat also so you can have them there. Just 1 second. Wanna type them on the chat. So we have some examples there of how to appreciate diversity. I would like to read them. We're going to have probably 1-2 minutes to read them calmly. And then you're going to pick just one of those sentences and tell me why do you agree with it. You're going to select which one that you agree with, okay? So I would say 2 minutes will be good for this. Okay, we see that, Jose Luis. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I am agree with respecting and accepting difference. Because when you meet some person, you need to listen first and after speak, because it's important to understand what the other person is trying to say you after you speak. Sometimes we are always speaking, and we don't listening. Yeah, we don't listen. So this is my way of thinking.
Thank you, Jose. Anybody else would like to tell us if you selected one of these sentences? I see on the chat we have. I think that was the best way to demonstrate you are open-minded is acting as a role model. Very nice, Claudia, thank you. Acting as a role model. What about the others? What do you think?
I would like to say something about the first remark, speaking out against insensitive remarks and discriminatory behaviors. Sometimes you think you're not acting badly because you're not discriminating people, you're not having those kinds of behavior, but you stay passive when you witness something, you don't say anything. And that's also being part of the problem.
Exactly. Think exactly the same. Thank you. Let me see. Maybe 2 more people who would like to share your thoughts. Okay. Nasli also shows acting as a role model. Brian says, identify the origin of our negative reactions, recognizing our biases. I'm going to see that one here. Yes, thank you, Brian. And also one says, being aware how discrimination operates with privileges and with harms. We have this one here.
I like this one because sometimes I think that the way we act about diversity, trying to accept it, doesn't accept it, right? I mean, to recognize diversity is not just about having an attitude. More than an attitude, you have to develop in your mind a specific thoughts and mental habits about that. That just doesn't happen only with reading something and thinking you understood something what you read. No, I think that is important to educate your sensibility in not just how can I say that? Not just through speech, but through specific experiences of interaction with people. I think that's my idea about that. That's why, for example, I think that to act as a role model implies to really feel the acceptance of diversity in your daily activities, in your daily life. Not just an idea, but a habit, a personal experience.
Thank you, Juan, for those remarks. Okay, thank you everybody for those comments. And I'm going just to leave these other ideas here in case you want to read them later. I can just share the slides with you. Also, I wanted to talk about this. I mean, I'm just going to show it. When I was reading about diversity, I found out that there were different dimensions, different types of diversity. And it depended on if they were internal, external, organizational, and others. So I'm just going to show you here some of the examples. The internal ones are the age, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, physical ability, and also something interesting that I was reading, and according to what Juan was saying before, they say that there are some things we don't necessarily change, like the origin where we are from. We cannot change that kind of things, and that kind of things also shape us. So there are some aspects of diversity that cannot be changed, but there are a lot of others that actually can change throughout time, like the age, for instance, that also is part of our identity and that shape us. So also I wanted just to show you this. Out of all of these dimensions, I wanted to focus on the one which has to do with the culture and the identity, specifically with identity. But before that, I want to show this, which is the iceberg of the culture. We were working with this in a previous session. And the exercise was to think about how each one of these components, both the visible ones and the invisible ones, shape us, right? According to the culture we are immersed, right? How is the way of dressing, the food, the music, the greetings, the values and beliefs we have, the beauty, how our culture sees the beauty, or how they perceive time, the gender roles, the health, all of these. All of these can shape us. I'm not going to focus on this because, as I said, we did it in a previous session, but I want to focus on this one, which is how have you thought about how these traits shape the way you see the world? And in this case, we have different traits here, which is health status, marital status, citizenship, language, race, profession, study, social class, religion, beliefs, sexual orientation, gender identity, and there can be a lot of more of these traits, right? So the activity consists in this one. This is the flower of identity. There is an exercise where they tell us we could just try to think our identity as a flower. And in the petals of this flower, we can just put our different traits of our identities. And I would like us to take a couple of minutes to do the exercise. I hope you're going to agree. We are just going to, I wanted to see, to look at this flower, also to take into account some of these traits and even some others that comes to your mind, and then put the traits you think that shape you, that are in your identity, put them in this flower. I would like us to do this activity and then maybe to socialize it just a few minutes. I'm going to send you right now this flower. by chat so you can have it. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to close this. We have these. 1 second. In the chat here. And I'm going to send flower to the chat. I think you're going to get it there. Can you please confirm if you got it on the chat?
Yes.
Okay. So, and also I'm going to send you the webpage where you can actually put the flower and I mean the image, and you can modify it really easily with this link I'm going to send you. So that's going to be the activity by now. It's going to send the link. So if you click on that link, you're going to be on this. I'm going to show you. In this online program, you're just going to put the image there, the flower, and then you can modify and add the traits you think you have. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit here. For instance, I take the image, put it there, and then I can just modify as I wish. Like, for instance, the first trait. So
we're not watching your screen. We're watching the presentation, the slide.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to share them. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to share the program. What about there? Do you see?
Yes.
Yeah. So in this link that I send you, is going to take you there, and then you can just write down here the things you think that are part of your identity. For instance, in my case, translator is one of those, right? So I'm just going to move it. Sorry. And I'm going to put it here, right? It's pretty easy to use. So I would like us to do this activity. It's going to be brief, can be just 5-6 minutes. And then I would like some of you, or a little more depending on how long do you need. And then I would like us to at least to see 3 of these flowers of identity of yours. Okay. Let me see. There is a comment. Okay, Claudia.
No, Claudia was leaving, and sorry, can you repeat what you want us to do? Like, that's an identity flower.
Yeah, in this, I send the identity flower to you on the chat, okay. The image, right? You have the image on the chat, and also you have the link where you can modify it. That link is going to take you here to this online program, which is going to let you modify the flower. What you're going to do is you're just going to put the things, the traits you think that shape you or are part of your identity, right? For instance, man, or in one of these petals. Okay. Yes, I think if you're from the cell phone, it's complicated. I don't know if anybody could download the image. Anybody did it?
Yes, it works. I downloaded it.
Question: is it clear now the instructions or not for the rest of you? Do you understand the dynamics?
I don't know. They can react on the chat or.
Yes, if you can tell me on the chat if it's clear for you the dynamics. And I'm also going to show you some of the traits that maybe you could take into account. Let me show you. These ones you see on the image. Okay, if you're from your cell phone and you can modify the image, you can just write down on a paper or whatever. You can just have it there. The idea is just for us to do this activity to identify how these traits shape us. Okay, you can write down on a paper, on a chat, on WhatsApp. You don't need to do it with the image. I just share the image with you in case you want to use it later for some other purposes. Okay. So we're going to have like going to take like 5 minutes and then we can comment on this. Okay, so I would imagine it was enough time, right? So the question is then, how do you think how these traits that you identified have shaped you throughout your life, and how do you think they help you to appreciate diversity in this sense? And I'm going to select 4, like the example says. You can comment 4 or 5. For instance, in my case, language. I had the opportunity to study languages. I also had the opportunity to study other topics at the university that helped me in a certain way to appreciate things that I wouldn't have been able if I wouldn't have studied this. To get to know other cultures through language. My citizenship in Colombia, we have like such a richness in our country with different cultures. So that also helped me and shaped me. My health status, fortunately, I have been okay at that respect. So that helped me to have experiences that otherwise I wouldn't be able to, and so on. So that's the idea of this exercise. We're going to think, according to the traits you identify, how do you think these have shaped you in your life? How would it have been different if you wouldn't be shaped that way? And I don't know if anybody would like to talk about it just a while. You can just name 2 or 3 of these traits you see here, and maybe tell us how do you think they have shaped you. I don't know if maybe
Eliana.
Ellie. You need to turn on your mic because, yeah.
I think all of the traits have been part of my life and they shape me. And the main objective has been to understand that I have this trait because in the beginning I didn't know it. But I had to do the comparison with other cultural situations and people to understand mine. But for example, the language, the social class, the citizenship, and the profession, my studies, have been the most. And I think religious, because with the religion, I had to change it before, and then I began to fit more in the world because I put my view open wide because I was like only like this, like in all the other traits that I mentioned. So I think if I didn't have the chance to compare myself to others, I didn't notice that I had these stereotypes, that I had this narrow view of the world that helped me to understand and to open a little bit much more.
Thank you, Eliana. Indeed, that's nice to know, because to appreciate other cultures and other people, other personalities, it's important to get to know yours first. That's going to help you a lot, right? To recognize, to be aware of your own traits. So let me see who else we have here. Who else would like to tell us about how do you think these traits have shaped you? We have somebody there. Jose Luis, hello.
Hello. I am not into religion, but I think I pray I pray for my daughter, for my work, for a lot of things, but I don't go, for example, to the how do you say, iglesia?
To the church.
To the church, but I think this is a kind of a kind of I don't know, pride of my life. I also think about my profession. My profession is software engineer, and I think this profession changed my life. All my life is around my job, and my job is this: is try to understand. Also I am trying to speaking English or learn about English because my career is about all is in English. Yeah, so this is a good I don't know a good try. Yeah.
Okay. Also, thank you very much for sharing that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to split you in groups, could be 2 groups, so we can discuss this. And I want us to do this activity, which is let's discuss in small groups, think and write down the things that make you different and the things that make you similar as a group, okay? For this, I'm going to send again on the chat a Word document that may help you to, let me see. Yes. In case you want to use it, that's the same format you see on the screen. So I'm just going to split you. Let me just stop sharing. But if you want to take a screenshot to what you see on the screen, what you're going to do is, as groups, you're going to identify the things that you think make you similar to each other, and the ones that makes you unique, the ones you do that other people in the group don't have. Okay. So let me just stop sharing, and I'm going to create the small groups. Let me see.
You do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, let me see just one more time. Yeah, 2 groups. Yeah. Now you're going to get the invitation to join the groups, right? You got it? So do you have time to write down, Eliana? Yes.
Okay, we didn't finish the discussion, but it was very interesting.
Okay, I think, yeah, it was like, okay. Yeah. Sometimes we need more time to get to know other people, but I hope at least this is like a taste of it, a little bit. So I would like to know what conclusions or what did you know about your other, the other people who were in your group, in the group number 1?
Which was group number 1? I don't know.
It was your group.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want me to share the screen, we wrote down some things.
Nice, yeah. If you can just read us and show the screen also.
Okay, so I'm gonna. So we were Luz Marina, Doris, Juan, Jose Luis. What makes us unique? Luz Marina is Santandereana, and we all are Paisa. Luz Marina has a different accent in Spanish because of her region of origin. I'm a French teacher. I'm a teacher educator because I teach in the licenciatura, in the foreign languages teaching program. Maybe my sense of humor makes me unique. For Juan, he's an art teacher. He thinks his writing style is unique, the content. He gets tired easily of things he does often. For example, he doesn't travel very often because he gets tired of it. I don't know, you never get tired of traveling, that's what I think, but he gets tired of it. He works outside of the university in a school. Jose Luis is an engineer. He's an English student in the university and he has tattoos. What makes us similar? We are all professionals, we're Colombian, we love English, we love languages in general, we love traveling, we are spiritual but not religious. We don't go to the church or okay, we're middle class and we don't have piercings. And we were talking about gender identification, sexual orientation, but we didn't finish that because you called us. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much for showing that nice exercise. I would like to also see the exercise of group number 2. Let me see the group of Eliana and Nasli. Yeah, Eliana.
Okay, we were speaking about how similar we are, even if we have these differences like our physical appearance or our particularities, but we are so similar because, for example, all of us live in the same Antioquia, in the same department, state, we have to say state. But for example, we are from the same university, we were raised by the same religion, we have the same culture because all of us have family from Antioquia, and that impacts us in the same way, right? But for example, one of us were raised in a Catholic way, but now is not religious. So am I. I am not religious neither. Both of us were mothers, but we are single. So we have the same marital status as single, but both of us are like the virgin, that a real virgin has a baby. So we are not so different. The differences come when we have to go inside the lives, in the private life, looking at the way they think, the way they see the world, and that is what makes us unique. Even if we have so many similarities, we are unique in the way that we see the world.
Thank you, Eliana. I don't know if anybody else wanted to say something before I go on to the. Okay. Also, I wanted to say that, I mean, listen to you talking about the uniqueness of each of you, and at the same time, the diversity you share with other people. I just wanted to bring this here, the paradox of diversity. Can you see this? We are each unique and like no one else. We are each like some people, and unlike other people, we are each like all other people. And it's a paradox because it's, if you take the sentences individually, some of them seems like they are contrary to the others, to their ones, but this is diversity, you know, being unique and at the same time being diverse in this uniqueness. So very nice. Thank you for that exercise. We're almost reaching the end of this meeting, but before I wanted to show you something. Let me see. Okay, here we have also, this is the attendance links, teacher.
Yeah, but I forgot to put it at the beginning, in the middle, so I will send it via email too.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to show you this video. It's a really short video. It was created by a church. I just want to tell you that it's not advertising. It's just that I like the message and I want to share it with you because I think it's a really nice message. And I'm going to play it right now so you can see it. Just give me 1 second.
It's so easy to place people in boxes.
We can't hear.
I'm going to share the audio again. Sorry. What about?
Yes. Yes.
It's so easy to place people in boxes. Drawing lines, creating sides. There's us, and there's them. Those we feel comfortable around, and those we don't. There are those of us with many chapters, and those just starting their own stories. There's the well-to-do, and those doing what they can. There are those we share something with, and those we don't seem to share anything with.
Welcome, and thank you for coming today, guys. Today I'm going to be conducting an experiment where I'll ask you a series of questions. Now, these questions will be very personal questions, and for us to get a true result, I need you to be completely honest with how you respond. The first question I have is, who in here was the class clown? Who is never on time?
And then there's us. We who have tattoos. We who feel lonely. We who have been bullied. We who have bullied others. We who are madly in love. We who have overcome great adversity. won the championship this year. We who beat cancer.
And I just wanted to show you that video because I think it complements what the activity we just did, right? We normally, when see somebody, we just place people in boxes and we say, okay, these traits I can see in the person. But once you get to check out the person even more, you can see how diverse can the other person be. So I just wanted to share that video with you. And before finishing, and with our teacher's Doris' permission, I would like to say something about this here in this meeting. I would like to say, guys, that if you are interested in this kind of topics, diversity, global citizenship, interculturality, and others, at the university, we have the Academia Local from the Office of International Affairs, where you can actually find a lot of lectures and courses and experts talking about these topics, which are really interesting. So in case any day you are interested in getting to know, checking out a little bit more these topics, you can write down to this email here on the screen. And that will be it. That will be it. I don't know if maybe I have some other activities, but obviously time won't be enough. So I'm going to leave it here in these slides in case any of you want to have them or something. You can write down also to that email I just showed you, and you can get the slides. And that being said, that will be it. Thank you very much, teacher.
Thank you very much, Alex, and thank you all of you for being here, for staying till the end. And there are other activities you can participate in. Have a nice afternoon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.